Hello, future millionaires, and welcome back to my channel. I am Kayla.K.Keane from Financial Literacy, here to bring you another in the series, Conversations About Money. As you can see, I have a special guest with me this week. He is Jahvarn Brown. He's an accountant here with me to talk to you about how to make a budget. Welcome, Jahvarn.
Thanks, Kayla, for having me.
All right, it is definitely my pleasure. Now, I know a lot of persons always think about, how they can better spend their money, but they really don't have a system in place to ensure that that dream becomes a reality. So firstly, Jahvarn, what is a budget?
All right, simply put, a budget is a spending plan. It is an estimate of your income and your expenditure for a period of time. That's a budget.
Okay, so would you suggest that I make a budget based on how I get paid?
Yes, you have to make a budget based on how you get paid, because without an income, there is absolutely no reason for making a budget.
So basically then, if I get paid on a weekly basis, then I make my budget.
For a week, on a weekly basis.
Okay,
if it
so
is fortnightly, it is on a fortnightly basis, or monthly. Most people get paid on
a monthly basis.
That's right. So you have to make a budget per month.
Why I can't just spend the money and then wherever it market pop, to use a Jamaican phrase? So when the money done, it's just done? Why I can't do that?
That is not advisable, Kayla. In Jamaica or worldwide, we have people who are spending more money than they're actually earning. And so having a budget, it helps you to come out of debt. A lot of persons in Jamaica are in debt because they are spending way too much money. And another one is it helps you to have a plan, and so you can have money for the things that you need. That's it. That's the reason why you need to have a budget.
All right. So basically then, how do I go about making a budget?
All right. So firstly, you have to look at the amount of money you earn, whether weekly, fortnightly, or monthly.
Okay.
From that, there are some necessities that you have to take out, some bills that you have to take out. For example, you have your utility bills to include rent or mortgage or a car, water, a car loan. Those things must be taken into consideration first when you are making a budget. Also, you need to have savings. It is recommended that you save 20% of what you earn, but sometimes that can be a challenge because of how much we actually spend. So I'm advising you to take out the savings component first, and then you take out the other parts of it, so your rent and all of that.
All right, so we're making the budget now. So firstly, we're taking out 20% for saving.
That's right.
And then we're looking at all our utilities and then add up that figure as one big figure.
That's
so
right.
Your rent, your water, your light, your gas, all of those are utility. And by gas, I don't mean petrol now. I mean gas as in cooking gas.
Cooking gas.
Right.
And yeah, your traveling costs too.
And your traveling costs.
Yes.
All right, so we're adding those to utility.
Yes, you can.
All right, so that's utility. And then what are we doing with the rest of the money?
Importantly, there is something called emergency fund. We know that life is full of the unexpected.
Yes.
So we have to have a plan for that.
Okay. And if we have money left, what are we doing with the rest of the money?
In budgeting, remember that you have to treat yourself also. So
I like that part.
yes, you have to treat yourself. Let me just share an experience with you. Every month, I ensure that I buy a pants or go to a fancy restaurant, just to treat myself. Having done so much work over the month, I just treat myself with it. If you have additional funding, after all the things are taken out, you can put more. You can always top up on your savings. Savings is never too much.
Okay. And I agree with treating yourself. As you know, I've started to follow you and treat myself.
That's
every
right.
month. Yeah, so that's an excellent idea. You mentioned about main income, but there are actually three types of earnings that persons can have. Can you go through that for me?
All right. There are three different types of earnings that anybody can have. It is your main income, it is your side hustles, and it is your contractual income. Those are the
Okay.
three types of incomes that you can have.
Okay, but what are you suggesting? How do I go about budgeting the money? Say I have all three. How should I budget that money?
All right. For the main income, like I said before, your main income is supposed to take care of all the necessities that you have. So, your car loan, your utility bills, your rent, that sort of thing. Now, the side hustle sometimes people are just starting out. And so a lot of expenses come. And so if the profit is not so much, then you might have to use your side hustle to invest
In the
in your
business?
business so
Okay.
that it can be profitable over a long-term period.
Okay.
All right. For the contractual income, we have different types of contract. So you can be contracted for 1 year, you can be contracted for 2 years. Now, that money has to be budgeted as well.
Okay.
And so if it is that your main income is substantial, it is always advisable that some amount of that money goes to your savings. So
Okay.
let's say you have all three of them. The main income takes care of your utilities and sort of thing. Your side hustles now, sometimes you might have to put back the money
Into a
into your
business
business, right? The side
or invest it in yourself.
or invest it in
Yeah.
yourself. Or so the contractual one now must have a savings component to it.
Okay.
So you must set aside some money from your contractual income for the rainy day. Ensure that if you would never had the emergency fund in your main income,
That's a
ensure
good way
that
to
right,
start
ensure that
an emergency
from the contractual income there is an emergency fund.
Okay. Additionally, I know a lot of people are screaming this question at their screens. How do I make a budget and stick to it?
All right. So it is, let me say this. Sticking to a budget can be very difficult sometimes, especially because expenses go up and it goes down,
True.
right? Firstly, the saving, remember, when you get paid on a monthly basis, calculate 20% of that. And if it is that you are not disciplined enough to save, speak to a financial institution. Say to them, listen, I am not disciplined enough, so I want to take out a standing order. And then they'll take it up, they'll deduct it from your salary before it gets in hand.
Okay, that's awesome. So therefore, I don't have any control over the money. But in addition to that, I'd also suggest that apart from just allowing them to deduct the money, that you put it in an account, for example, a fixed deposit.
Right.
So you know you can't withdraw that money without penalties.
Right. The second one, Kayla, is sleeping on big purchases. A lot of times when we go into the stores,
Yeah.
we always see things that we want.
Right.
And we will be tempted to actually buy these items. So think about it before you actually spend. Go home and think about it. Actually, as the name suggests, sleep on it.
Yeah.
And if it is that you really need it, then you can buy it. But
And
if not,
Jahvarn, have you ever bought something and then you wonder, what was I going through at the time? What was I thinking? Why did I purchase this?
all the time, all the
I
time.
have bought clothes before that I have never worn, and when I look at them, I'm like, what was I going through? So going to the store, looking at the styles, and then probably going home, thinking about if I really want it, matching it with items I already have to see if I can actually use it. Because sometimes you buy clothes, for example, and it really doesn't match with anything you already have, so you can't wear it. So doing that could help you.
Yeah, that's
but what are
another
some
way.
of the other ways?
Is planning your meal. All right? So, if, for example, you have ham in the fridge, why would you want to go to work and buy ham when the food is already free in your
Exactly.
house? So, if you prepare meals from home, that's another way that you can save big time. Right? Another one, Another one is the no spend challenge.
Okay, how do I do that?
This one is a very hard task sometimes because sometimes we find ourselves with excess cash,
That's right.
and so we would want to spend that money. But if we are disciplined, then we would just spend the money on the essentials of life. So
Okay.
not spending money on the things that we don't need. For example, we know that I'm not bashing any particular company, but Bridget sometimes have sale, right? Females sometimes, oh, I have excess cash, so I can spend the money.
Right.
The no
When
spend
you already
challenge.
have
when
several sandals.
When you have a lot of sandals in your house.
Exactly.
For males, you have a lot of shoes, but you still buy
Buy
shoes.
more,
Right? So you have to be disciplined for the no spend challenge.
So the
alright?
no spend challenge can basically be timed. You can say for a week, I'm
For a
not going
week,
to buy anything
right.
other than essential items, which might just be food for you. So pay your bills, do the utilities, but you're not spending on anything other than things like food, and then you'll see how much you save at the end of that period, and you'll put that into your savings.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Jahvarn. So I've gone to the supermarket before and I really need 10 items, but I come home with 11. So that's probably one of the way in which I can stick to my budget. How do I go about doing that?
All right. You have to, whenever you're going to the supermarket or to any grocery shop, you have to make a list. And that has to be done before time. So you have to go into the kitchen now and look in the cupboard to see what exactly you need.
Exactly. All right. So what's the final idea that we have about, sticking to your budget?
And that is paying yourself first. Remember, as I said before, the first thing that you do when you get your income is to take out 20%. It feels good, Kayla,
Yes.
to actually pay yourself. When the figures accumulate over
Exactly.
time, you feel good. You feel like you have done yourself well.
Exactly.
And so it is always important. Remember, it is always important to pay yourself first.
Definitely. Can you imagine you have no saving and then you start to save 20% per month? Your 20% might be 20,000 Jamaican dollars, which would be equivalent to 100 and something US, right?
That's right.
So you start out that way and then next month you add another 20,000 Jamaican dollars and you add another 20,000. That is pretty amazing. So reward yourself by paying yourself first. All right, so you learned a mouthful. Remember to like the video, leave a comment, and to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so as yet. Now, Jahvarn, if persons want to contact you to speak about these things that you spoke about, or for general accounting issues, how can they get to you?
All right, I can be contacted at my email, via my email. It is brownjahvarn22@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 289-7541.
Also, I'm linking it down in the description bar. So if you missed it, just go down in my description bar and you can find all that information down there. So thanks for watching Future Billionaires, and until